bum, bum. That's good. This looks good. All right, it's good. All right. Looks like we're live on those ends. Just now waiting for the notification. Then after a little bit, we'll get started. So, who's ever listening, hopefully you're having a good night. Got some picks to go over, right? We have some, like 13 games to, or what is it? 13 games to go over. So, you know, a couple teams are off. The Jets, Patriots, Bengals, and Ravens. I almost had all four. I thought I knew him off the top of my head. I was like, damn, that'd be pretty impressive. What's up, Fernando? Alrighty. A crazy. What's up, Daniel? How's it going, man? Just getting everything set up. Hoping people come in. If you haven't done so, consider leaving a like. Helps the stream out. Yada, yada. What's up, Dre? How's everybody doing? Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of waiting. Kind of, you know how it goes on. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dre. You know how Saturdays are. We kind of wait about 5-10 minutes before everybody gets in, and we just start getting things going. You're zappy now? All right. Doing good. Getting ready to watch the Knights play. Oh, that's nice. The Red Wings are better, I think. I actually have no idea. I don't really watch hockey. I'll just say that. They could be much worse. I don't honestly know. Yeah, Josh Allen's supposed to play. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of changes this week from my initial picks. Just because I'm like, God, is it going to be the Vikings or is it going to, like, that's the one game that's going to be like the biggest amount of pause for cause. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Yeah, it's a pretty solid book. People all seem to like that. There's a movie that's made with it, and the kid in the movie winds up killing someone in real life very recently, like not that long ago. He like killed his mom. Yeah, like the guy from like what movie or show did he go on to do, like Riverdale or something? Yeah. So the movie's kind of weird to watch, but it's like a solid movie and book. Yeah, we'll do the picks in a little bit, KG. If you want like a quicker version of this, I always have my picks video right on the channel. You can click right in and right on the there's just a whole link right there you can click on, and well, you just click on the name of the channel and then like week 10 picks. If you just want it really quick, this will take a couple hours. You know how it goes. You've been here, KG. So it'll be about 5 more minutes before we get going on the first game here. I like to give people a chance to come in and, you know, get settled in and, you know. No, we're the best team in the league currently, but the Wings are pretty decent this year. Yeah, the Iser plan always works. What's up, Jacob? The rise of Detroit sports is going to be great. If Giants lose, I'm chopping my... Yeah, you can't really lose to the Texans, especially if you talked any shit about them. Like, oh boy, we can't afford this one, guys. Gentlemen. Damn, I've already got the red badge or the yellow badge. So if you haven't left a like, consider doing so we can fight back against already being given the demonetized badge. Helps the stream out. I think if everybody here leaves a like, we'll be up over 10 almost. Yep, Minka's out. Yeah, the Steelers are. I mean, they have Watt back, but Minka's out and another guy's out. And yeah, Patriots. Yeah, that's because we play the Bills twice, the Dolphins once, and the Jets again. Outside and the Vikings, of course. But outside of that, it's not that bad. Hell yeah, stud. There you go. Even though I'm pretty far left, I don't like the commies either. They're pretty bad people. It's just annoying. I wish they would stop demonetizing my streams right away, because it's like, man, I don't get any money this way. It's stupid. That's all right. Oh, most of my channel's money always comes from the pigs video anyway in the week, so, and those never have any problems. See, a lot of people complain about YouTube being like, oh, you got to be super like, careful about what you say. It's like, not necessarily. You just got to be very careful about certain things. You can swear all you want. For me, I'm like, I don't understand what people talk about censorship on YouTube. I have to deal with a little bit of a hoop to jump through on live streams. But outside of that, I deal with nothing. And I swear all I want to in my picks videos. I'm dropping all kinds of fuck yous and this team sucks a bag of dicks, and never once have dealt with any demonetization issues. Never. Not once. Again, it's very uncontroversial subjects, and it's just silly little swears. So there's quite a difference between someone maybe talking about, certain topics that people go and get real sensitive about. But, the Raiders, they make me nervous because, like, if they just kind of click in, they're a very good football team just waiting to be utilized properly. You know what I mean? Like, the Raiders are one of them teams where you, like, look at the roster and go, boy, if that starts working and they, like, start clicking as a full-on unit there, that's a really solid football team. Like, they don't have to be as bad as they've been. Is basically the main point I'm trying to make here. Because I think they've had, 4, maybe 5, 17-plus point leads in this season alone. To the point where it's like, oh boy, that's kind of troubling about the Raiders this year. Nah, I don't think they'll fire him. Because there's a few things you can do differently as a coach, where the Raiders are in first place in the division. Like, what are they, 2-7 right now? Like, you can easily look at their games and go, wow, they could have 5 more wins than they have. Because, again, they've had huge leads in multiple, I think 5 of those 7 losses. Even 4 of them would put them, 4 wins above where they're at right now, which puts them at 6-4. What was the tweet? So, I don't know. Doesn't really seem like anyone's coming in again tonight. Channel's been dead lately again on the streams. I don't know what happened. No, I'm pretty sure he's just going to still be the head coach of the Raiders. I'll be honest. I don't think it's a good idea to fire a coach after one season. I think that will mess a team up really bad. Again, if the coach seems completely incapable of winning, then sure, maybe there's a discussion to be had there. But again, I don't think the teams look completely inept. They've just had like a bunch of weird collapses. And again, I feel like that's something that can actually start, like, you can actually work out of it, because, like, I don't know. Again, if they don't have, like, again, it's not catastrophic in Las Vegas. It's like, well, what the hell are they doing that's just like that off, that their defense isn't clamping things up? Again, like, they have multiple losses where they're in the 20s when they're scoring. So it's like, is it really the Raiders offense, which is what which is what he said? Like, they've had one really bad offensive game where they got shut out, but it's like everything else has been pretty decent. It's their defense that's been really a fucking nightmare. They lost Chandler Jones, and it's like, what happened? They need to get him back at any cost. Anyway, do you guys want to get started on the first game here? The Seahawks and Bucks. Oh shit, let me get a few more things ready before we get going. I don't think anyone else is coming in, sadly. I'm a dead channel for whatever reason. Went from being able to pull 20 people to stream in here to suddenly it's down to 5. I don't necessarily know what happened. Seems a little suspicious, but that's all right. Not really sure where anyone's at this point. Probably going to just take away a bunch of people's mods. They just don't show up to the stream anymore. Yeah, I'm probably going to do that right now. Bunch of people don't deserve that shit. Like, well, you haven't been here like a week now, so. All right, like, you haven't shown up. He doesn't show up anymore. That person doesn't show up. That person doesn't. That one, that one. This person. This person. Okay. Yeah, I had to get rid of a bunch of mods. A bunch of people just lost their shit. Is what it is. It's not like a lifetime award. Like show up or you lose it. Anyway, let's just focus on the stream here at hand. Or call them retards for not showing up. Anyway, let's get started here then. We have the 6-3 Seahawks playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Neither team is really home. Neither team is really away here. It's more or less, it's the game up in Germany. It's the, 9:30 a.m. start time. It'll be out in, I believe, Munich, Germany is where they're playing it at. That probably doesn't really mean shit to us. It's just, the first NFL game out in Germany and I think ever. I don't know if they've ever played out there. I don't think they have. Little fun fact about the Germany push here. You know how like every team has like an international home market. The Germany's international home market was awarded to the Patriots. So the Patriots are technically Germany's team as well. So kind of a cool thing, just a small little aside there. So Brady's probably going to get some crazy level of support. It's basically the way I was kind of leading into this. If you're wondering who might have like a bit of a home edge or who might be more favored here, I would imagine the team, they're going to be pulling hard. What's up, Barry? They're going to be pulling hard, at least pretty hard for the Bucks and Brady, specifically probably Tom due to the Patriots affiliation. So that all being said, let's look at some lines here. The Bucks are favored by 2.5 with an over/under of 44.5. NFL pick watch. That's always a good thing to kind of keep in mind here as well. We have 58% of people on the Seahawks and 42% on the Bucks. So that's something to keep in mind. It's pretty dead heat right here. A lot of the top people have the Seahawks. A lot of people have the Bucks. It's kind of back and forth, back and forth. So David Hasselhoff picks Brady. That'd be funny. You have the Bucks. We have a lot of Germany fans. All right, so it's interesting to see everything right here. So we have the Bucks, who have one of the top 10 defenses in football, kind of like an unknown, kind of like low-key statistic about the Bucks. They've played pretty solid defense in almost every game they've had this year. A large part of the reason that they have these 4 wins is the defense. Little fun fact, I think the Bucks have scored 5, maybe 6 touchdowns in their wins. It's like they're not winning by like any kind of grand fashion. They're getting in there and they're just beating teams. But what's that mean for the Seahawks offense? That means the Seahawks sometimes questionable offensive line is going up against a very real test this week. Now, we've seen the Seahawks rise to every occasion that they've pretty much gone against outside of a few games. But I do wonder how the Seahawks are going to perform with this Buccaneers defense. That's one of the things that'll keep it pretty close. And then you're wondering, well, who do you kind of like in a close game? Do you like the team led by Tom Brady, or do you like the team led by Geno Smith? If this is kind of like a defensive game out of nowhere, with the Seahawks playing pretty good defense lately, it's Pete Carroll's coaching his ass off with a bunch of really young players. So there's a lot of like really weird things going on here. So there's like 3 things, right, that you probably want to keep in mind in a game that feels really close like this. Yeah, do whatever you want, man. All right, so looking at the Seahawks and Bucks, you want to look at the coaching advantage first right away, right? Because it feels like this is a pretty close matchup, despite the Seahawks being a way better team record-wise. But it's also like the Bucks, like the Bucks. I don't know. The Seahawks don't have a defense like that. Some of the teams the Bucks have played, so it's kind of like you can kind of like, other than the secondary of the Seahawks, you can kind of take away some of the sting of the Bucks offensive line being bad. But that's kind of an irrelevant thing. Actually, that's not irrelevant. That's a big thing I'll bring up later, but not really later. But we'll just just keep that in mind. I don't think the Bucks offensive line is going to be as bad against a kind of mediocre pass rush, but I wonder. The Seahawks secondary is really, really good. Anyway, the coaching advantage. Go Pete Carroll over the current coach of Todd Bowles, I believe. Nothing wrong with Bowles. He seems okay, but it seems like he's not the coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They probably should have gone with Leftwich right away instead of fucking hiring this guy. But anyway, so we'll go with Pete Carroll. He's probably going to win Coach of the Year. It seems like he might run away with it. Well, maybe the Vikings coach or Sirianni too. Those three guys. But with Pete Carroll, it's like he doesn't even have a good team. How the hell is he doing this? So we'll give coaching advantage, offensive advantage. Right now, you'd have to probably go Seattle, right? But you'd have to imagine in a close game, it probably goes back to the Bucks. So it's kind of like one of them like seesaw. Like, yeah, Brian Dabble also is up there. I like always forget about him for some reason. I think it's because everybody still has the same gut feeling about the Giants of like, yeah, but eventually they're going to come back. I'm telling you, people still think that, by the way. It's going to be really funny that you guys are going to be like 8-2 at some point, maybe 9-2, and people are still going to be going, yeah, but I mean, the Giants are eventually going to come back down to earth, right? It's like, I don't know, maybe they're just a good team. Maybe we could just say that now. No, it's like kind of fluky, like it's not real. It's like make believe. I really hope they win a Super Bowl and I can still do this and there's still people like hemming and hawing about saying they're a good team. That's my favorite like still thing going on. As a Giants fan, if I was a Giants fan, I'd really enjoy. I'd be like, I really think this is comical. When are they just gonna say it? Just say it. We're a good team. Yeah, but I mean, you guys have gotten kind of lucky. Played like backups and a bunch of other nonsense and weight that we don't put on any other team except like 3 teams in the whole NFL. Like we add a lot of extra weight to their wins and make them irrelevant. It's really annoying. Like okay, small kind of a side rant here. The Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys are probably given no respect. Like literally zero respect despite their great records. Like I've never seen more like excuses made for wins than I've ever seen for those 4 teams. Like maybe they're just good teams. Like why do we have to keep going like look at their schedule? Look at their schedule. Yeah, the Eagles are like playing bad teams. They're also winning games like fucking 28-10. Like it's like it's like yeah, the Vikings, yeah, they're beating teams in very clutch situations. That doesn't mean anything. All the games they would lose last year, they're winning this year. That doesn't mean anything. Really, you don't understand how. Oh man. I hate. There is nothing that makes me more like weirdly angry than the dumb fuck argument of they played a weak schedule, so that means they're not actually good, or they were really good and they blew their other teams out, like the Eagles or Vikings are doing to bad teams. You got to look at like when they play these bad teams. What is it? A complete domination, or is it like one team like they're squeaking by these shitty teams? That's more of like what you have to look at. Like, the Eagles beat the Vikings, but that doesn't count. Okay. So the Eagles can't play anybody good. So the Eagles, unless they just win the Super Bowl, the Eagles, we can never know if they're good. Because you'll always have a weird excuse to, because like if the Eagles go 17-0, they're just going to be like, oh, easy schedule. It's like, well, they went 6-0 against the second best division in football. What are you talking about? Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, excuses. Fucking stupid. I think it's the worst argument you could probably make in like all of sports. Well, their strength of schedule doesn't mean anything. Yeah, you don't know that till the playoffs. I guess that's my final point in that argument. You can't like, oh damn, everybody left, or is it just like the leading audience? Because it says it's down to 2. Is there actually only 2 people left? What happened? Or is that just an incorrect number? Or is it just me and Fernando now? Well, Fernando, I guess it's just us now. I ran away everybody. I guess everybody disagreed. What's up, Ben? It's just us 3 tonight. Everybody left because I guess I ranted too powerfully. I scared everybody away. Yep. I don't know where everybody's at. Don't know why they dipped. Yeah, it's false news. It only says 2 people are here. There clearly can't be at least 5. All right. So the number's just broken again. All right. At least that's good to know. Like, there's probably way more people here than I think's here. I don't know, Ben. They just vanished. They're all still here. Like, that's the craziest thing about it. YouTube just sometimes, to be honest, my channel viewer count is a secret. There could be anywhere from 10 to 15 people watching. There probably is. Look at this. There's like 6 people here talking right now. I don't understand. Why does it say 3? There's clearly more than 3. Dre, Ben, me, that's 4. 3. There's that one guy, Stud, Fernando. That's clearly more than what they were than what's implied. I count as 1 because I'm on my burner account. Oh, now it's up to 6. All right, see, there we go. Now the number's starting to correct itself. See what I mean? Like, it's just a random. It'll just go down to 2. Sometimes it deletes numbers when people come in and start watching the stream. All right, let's get back on track here. I hope you guys were entertained by my long rant about the retarded nature of judging the strength of schedule as how a team is good or not. The way you can tell is by the way they're beating these teams and also by the playoff performance. Often Peyton Manning, you could say, overperformed because of the strength of schedule that he had. That's a very astute observation you could make about Peyton. Brady, you can't say that because he would go into the playoffs and destroy teams. Consistently win. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way you can look at strength of schedule for 2 examples. Did Peyton benefit from playing in the cupcake AFC South? Yes, he did. Did Brady? Sure, but he also won in the playoffs, so he probably would have won elsewhere. See, that's why I think strength of schedule is a little bit like a weird thing to use. Because it's like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of use that, but it's also lazy fucking analysis until the playoffs come. Because if a team just gets fucking butt cheeked by a bad football team or by like a while ago, yeah, all right. Not use strength of schedule to evaluate how a team's doing. That's a really bad regular season analysis. Doesn't tell you nothing. Anyway, Seahawks and Buccaneers. Let's kind of get back on a track here. More people are leaving, but I don't know. That could be more people are coming in. So it's kind of varied. So you're going Bucks. So I see a lot of people are on the Seahawks in this game. And like, I feel like I know I shouldn't take the Seahawks in this game. I feel like I know the Seahawks should lose this game. They haven't really played a defense as good as the Buccaneers can play. Tom Brady in that last game had that crazy ass comeback. That's usually a pretty solid indicator of things to come from a guy like Brady. But boy, oh boy, do I think the Buccaneers suck. It's like that offensive line is utter horseshit. The receivers are somehow all really talented, but they all suck. I don't understand what's going on with the Bucs. I have a real problem with like their consistency right now. And if like their defense doesn't shut out the Seahawks, and then the Seahawks start putting up points like they're able to, can the Bucks even like score with them? I know that's a weird statement to make, isn't it? So I'm probably going Seahawks in an upset here. It's probably my upset pick of the weekend is the Seahawks. But it seems like a lot of people are picking the Seahawks. So I don't know if this is really like, is it an upset if a 6-3 team beats a 4-5 team? I don't think so. I don't know why I paused so hard there. I was just trying to see if anyone was going to say anything, trying to read for anything. So I don't know. Yeah, so we're kind of just going to go with the Seahawks here. We're going to stick with our original pick on this one. There's been nothing really convincing to happen or convince me otherwise this week. The Bucks aren't like activating any offensive linemen. It just feels, I don't know. Just there's also some small disarray going on with Fournette not being happy with the amount of touches he's getting in the offense, and that always is, I don't know, kind of things leading and building and building. So I don't know. I think the Seahawks are a better team right now, so probably have to go with the hotter, well, a little bit better organized team right now. What's up, Kenny? How's it going? Yeah, the numbers are just jumping randomly. It's who knows how many people are watching. All right, we're done with this game. I'm going to stick with the Seahawks. I see most of you guys are on the Bucks. That's quite all right. Could start 0-2 this weekend. Josh Allen, he's good. He should be playing. All right, Vikings and speak of the devil. Vikings and Bills. This is probably the game of the weekend. Even with the Josh Allen injury, he should be playing. They didn't really activate their backup this before the game, so that means they probably intend on him playing. What's Friday? So expect Josh Allen to play. Let's see how the Lions looking. The Bills are favored all the way up by 6.5 again. I think this might have jumped back up with the news of Josh Allen playing today. Over under is 44.5 with the NFL Pick Watch people putting it at 69% on the Bills and 31% on the Vikings. So people are pretty bullish on the Bills on the news Josh Allen is back. You're picking Kirko not in prime time. You're picking Kirko. Bills by 3, Bills by 14. Yeah, I don't see a blowout coming in any kind of capacity. This game's hard because again, it is a 1:00 game, and this is Kirko Cousins. This is a whole new guy. Yeah, as long as it's Sunday 1 p.m., like the werewolf comes exactly, and no one knows how to handle the werewolf at 1:00. It's ticking like a time. No, that's always scary, Fernando. Be careful. It's your birthday? Oh yeah, for shit. I forgot it was in November. 38, 34, Kirko. All right. My major question here is how the Bills are going to perform. How hurt is Josh Allen? Probably not that bad. If he's able to play through it, it didn't seem like that bad of a sprain, looking at it. Yeah, I think due to that, though, you're going to see a little bit less like explosivity from the passing game of the Bills, but that'll probably be made up for in the running game. We'll probably see a little bit more usage of Naheem Hines this week, especially since he's had 2 weeks to kind of get integrated into the offense. So, we kind of, might see a little bit more proper usage of Hines, who's pretty dangerous when used right. Yeah, the advantage of being in Buffalo. So that kind of puts a bit of a question on Kirk. Also, I know that Kirk Cousins isn't the greatest, or is pretty hard to beat at 1:00 non-prime time. But he also does struggle with really good teams. It's not just if you put him against the league's best teams, even at 1:00, I do believe those struggles come flying back for Kirk Cousins. Would this be a big prove-it game for the Vikings? 100%, yes. Have the Bills played in games with this kind of atmosphere already 3 times this year, it feels like? Yep. And that's probably why I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bills. This is one of the few times where I have to look at strength of schedule. I know I've been saying that's a bad metric, but it's also a metric that's usable to some extent to be like, well, who's played in bigger games and against better opponents, and how have they performed? Well, when the Vikings have played the league's best in their conference, they got their shit pushed in. When the Bills played a team like the Chiefs or the Dolphins or teams like that, I think they lost to the Dolphins, but when they played a team like the Chiefs, who have this league or the second best record, they were able to beat them. So it's kind of like, all right, so when this team plays top teams, they can win. When the Vikings have played a top team, they kind of got beat up on badly. That's kind of like one of them ways you can look at like the strength and be like, all right, so the Bills have a little bit more impressive of a 6-2 record than the Vikings 7-1, just based on like some quality wins. So with that, I'm probably going to have to go Bills. But again, I was going to switch off this pick if the Bills couldn't run Josh Allen, because I do think the Vikings would be able to take advantage of a Josh Allen-less Bills. Because for some reason, if their pass game shuts down, like, and that often for some reason, like their pass game, despite like having some good receivers, some pretty good little talent there, sometimes the Bills passing game doesn't really open up that well, and it just struggles to get going. And often Josh Allen's running has to kind of open it up and get things going, and like break things apart a little bit. And I wonder if he wasn't playing, I wonder if the Bills offense would have that level of explosivity in it still, where it's like, all right, we can't really throw it, but the way Josh can run it, it's going to kind of like draw off some of that like super ability in like covering the pass. So, but that's not something you really got to worry about. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Bills, and we can move on here to oh boy, two playoff teams here. The Lions are taking on the Bears, 2-6 versus 3-6. The premier crops of the NFC North. I say crops because they are not yet grown, and they are the future of the NFC North. Get it? It's actually a positive statement, and you thought I was being sarcastic. Got him. Anyway, the Bears are favored by 3 with an over-under of 48.5. Kind of weird. Hey, that might be the first time Chicago's been favored all year. Oh boy. 82% of the experts are on the Bears, with 18% on the Lions. What's interesting is a lot of the top experts are on the Lions. So in the top 6, you have half of them on Detroit, and no pick from Jake Vogel. So more of the top 5 or top 6 are on the Lions than on the Bears. Kind of an interesting thing to think about. Wonder why. Actually, I don't think it's that hard to wonder why. The Bears defense this year has been kind of shitty lately. They've just been getting beat up on by two pretty good offenses in Dallas and Miami. And Detroit, despite their bad record, does have a really good offense. So I'm guessing they're thinking the Lions will be able to probably put points up here, even though, you know, if you kind of look at their times for Chicago, they don't do very good. So yeah, I wouldn't be too like freaked out to see Detroit put up a whole bunch of points in this game, because again, we're not looking at two like elite defenses this year, especially like in secondary play, and that's, I don't know, Chicago's defense hasn't been good. It's like, yeah, sometimes it shows flashes of being all right, but for the most part, it's been fucking pretty bad. So. The Lions are, I think, your team, Dre. They're not my favorite. They're not my team. My team's the Patriots. So I'm not really sure why you're calling them my team. We're not a pair. We don't like the same team. It's really weird when you do that, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of creepy and comes off a little gay. Like, we're not a pair. Like, we don't like the same team. That's your team, not my team. I just root for them. And then when they fired Patricia, I lost a lot of like support for them. I'll be honest. And Quinn, that was cold-blooded. Anyway, Detroit always has a situation where they go for it on fourth and never get it, and mostly always loses the game. Yeah, I think when they kick field goals and they don't go for it is because they have very low faith in their terrible kicking situation, which is why I've been one of the biggest advocates for the Detroit Lions to use one of their, 3 third-round draft picks. They have at least 2 of them. They might have 3. I think they're going to get a third one from compensation picks. So with the Lions, just kind of like a quick little aside about them, I do think that they're going to probably draft a kicker. Just take the best one. And there's other teams that are going to draft kickers this year, by the way. You may think I sound crazy when I'm saying this, but there are no good kickers left. There are 3 teams running very old-ass, dusty kickers out there because they can't find anything else. It's the Patriots are probably going to be drafting a kicker. The Lions will probably be drafting kicker. And I have to kind of look around. The Chargers might be in the draft business. Packers probably will be drafting a kicker. Again, look around the league. Is there anything to pick from? No, because guess what? They're all playing on NFL teams right now. That's the thing. There's no such thing as a good free agent kicker. You want to know why? They'd be signed. That's just, unless there's just some guy nobody knows about that's begging to get a tryout, then we'll know about him next year. You know what I mean? Unless there's another Younghoe Koo just sitting out there booting field goals, and we'll find out about him in the coming years, But again, there's no such thing as a kicker who can't get a job, in my opinion. Yeah, Mark, the Dolphins look like a fucking serious team. Tua's definitely turned the page. It's nice to see that from a young quarterback. Certainly getting some weapons, getting a weapon like Tyreek Hill, he's had those other ones, has changed tremendously, but that's kind of how football works. You give a quarterback a number 1 weapon, then they turn into monsters. I don't know why everyone's like, well, it's because the Dolphins, anyway. But we'll stick with the Bears and Lions here. Bears, Lions, I'm going to Bears. It's, we're not on those ones yet, Ben. We're a little bit above that. No, destroying is the only one where I'm confused about. But he must not do good at tryouts. That's my only thought on destroying is he must not kick well at tryouts or under because he'd be signed. You know what I mean? No, NFL teams don't care about fucking multimedia. They'd like that. They'd be like, oh, he's got a good online presence. That's good for online stuff and all that other stuff. That's something they actually understand. So no, that's not keeping him from being signed. There's something else from him. He's a good trick shot kicker and he's a good kicker, but there's something else. Again, no team would just be bad at kicking without. Yeah, it's pressure kicking. That's probably what I'm getting at. There's something else there. That's the reason he's not signed. Because my philosophy will always stand. There's no such thing as a good kicker that isn't on a team. You know what I mean? The 32 best kickers in the world are on the NFL rosters, unless there's a guy in college that'll be drafted soon. Anyway, that's my side about the Lions. They'll probably hopefully be drafting a kicker because, goddamn, dude, just draft one. Just pull the bat, draft somebody high too. Look what Evan McPherson did. Do you think that was a bad draft pick by the Bengals? Does anybody mock the Bengals for drafting a guy that kicked them into a fucking Super Bowl last year? And is probably one of the better placed kickers in football right now. Was that a quality use of a third round pick, 4th round pick? Yeah, I would say yeah. It solved a decades long problem for the Bengals instantly. Draft kickers. I don't care what other team be like. Yeah, guess what? My team can kick field goals now. Suck my dick. It's the simplest solution. And what's worse? What's worse? Not going for it on 4th down at the 30 when you could have 3 points and missing it. Oh, that sucks, doesn't it? Or teams going, haha, you draft a kicker. Yeah, but guess what? We can score now. Trust me. The other side is Lions fans know the other side now because Lions fans have been spoiled with Jason Hanson and Matt Prater, and they went from kicker to good kicker to good kicker. The Lions did. Like, I think I'm missing somebody between Prater and Hansen even, where it's like, man, Lions fans really had it good for a minute there. I can understand why they're just like, what do we do? What's going on with the kicker? I thought this was just an automatic thing. But anyway, right now, again, the Lions, though, my big problem with them, and always will be, until they can show me on a consistent basis that they've turned the corner with their defense, it's hard to think that they're going to be the team that unlocks how to stop this new Bears offense, right? Because one thing you have to give the Bears credit to, even in their losses, they're putting up, 29 points. They scored like almost 40 against the Patriots, or did score 40. They scored 32 against the Dolphins. So it's like, oh boy, this Bears offense is here now, isn't it? So, bro, he had a surgery. I don't think he recovered very well from it. Sometimes that happens. Like, you miss on a draft pick. Oh well. So do I think the Lions, who are, as everybody has probably found or heard by now, do you know that they've started tracking the last 10 years of defense in the NFL? There's ways that they can track this now, and doing long-standing rankings. And there have been about, 745 defenses assembled in that time period that's been measured, and the Detroit Lions ranked dead last. This specific defensive team. It's like, damn it. They're the worst. This might be the worst defense in a decade seen in pro football right now. So with that in mind, you kind of have to keep just think of that and then go, is this the team that is going to stop a upstart offense that no one has been able to figure out yet? Not even the great defensive minds of Bill Belichick, the Dolphins defense that's normally really good, the fucking Cowboys defense that's been phenomenal this year. No one's been able to stop this goddamn Bears emergence. Not one team has been able to go, oh, we figured out how to stop this now. That's just not something that's been done yet. So do I think the Lions, who have 3 good players on their defense, maybe 4 with Kerry Jacobs, we're not quite sure if he's going to be good. That's all. So I just am like, yeah, no, I got the Bears. I don't know if the Lions can win this game. No, maybe the Lions defense is good now, and they they just fucked Aaron Rodgers up. That was awesome. Came out of nowhere. So, you never know. They showed their flash, but so glad we beat the Bears when we did, because I have zero confidence that we would be. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to. If you already got your win versus Chicago out of the way, you'd just be happy, because boy, oh boy, that fucking team is different. That's a different quarterback that they got, because I seen what he looked like one week where he played the Commanders, and that dude looked so fucking irritated. And I was like, oh, we get the Bears next. We're going to destroy. And then he came out, and there was a whole different look on that guy's face. He might have went up and yelled in the fucking team's face about, let me run the football. And they went, fine, run the football then. And they might even call him a slur. And then he went, you'll regret ever calling me that. And then he then he blew the Patriots out, and they went, I guess he gets to run the football now. We just shut the fuck up and let him run. No one can stop him. That's as simple as that. Yeah, I don't know why the Packers threw that football. And why did Aaron Rodgers get baited by a rookie defensive end? I watched that pick 6 times. How the hell did he fall for that? Dude, Aiden Hutchinson faked going this way, he fell for something, and then stutter stepped, and then Aaron just threw a floater, and then Aiden was just like, I'm just gonna fall back and pick this. This is the easy. How did Rodgers fall for that? Even I was like, there's no way he really thinks he didn't read that. That's the worst interception he's ever thrown, in my opinion. That's like me throwing a pick, I've tricked him. Aaron, dude, I don't think a backyard quarterback falls for that fucking move. I think that's why Aaron called it a freebie. I think he just had a brain fart. I think he literally just brain farted right there. I think he went, oh shit, I got him. Oh damn, no, I shouldn't have. I think you could see where he regretted throwing it, about here. I think as soon as it slipped out of his hand and got about here, is where Aaron Rodgers went, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake in throwing that football. I just got picked off. If I don't get picked off, I'm picked. Yeah, I don't know how you don't run on Detroit. Yeah, Detroit can't stop the run, and the Bears are a running team. So, anyway, Jaguars versus Chiefs. Is there anyone here that thinks that this has like a small shot of being an upset? Or am I the only one who's like, why do I feel like the Chiefs are somehow going to lose this game in a hilarious, like, they're going to lose like 21-7, and everyone's going to be like, what the fuck was that? And then the Jaguars are going to lose next week to like the Texans or somebody way worse, like 45-7. And everyone's going to be like, again, I'm picking the Chiefs and I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. But there's just like this weird feeling in my gut where I'm like, man, why do I feel like the Jaguars could upset this game? Because they're not as bad as they used to be, right? They're not like, I don't know, Doug Peterson's a good coach. But anyway, what's the line in this game looking like? It's the Jaguars at Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 9.5 with an over-under of 50.5. So they're just basically predicting the Chiefs to beat the dog show. Yeah, 98% of experts are on the Chiefs. Only 2% of people are on the Jags. So it is just me that thinks this. And a couple of you guys as well, apparently. There's one person with a 67-40 record. I think I have a better picks record than that. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. Again, while the Jaguars have played a lot better football this year, you know, Mahomes and company, like, it took the Tennessee Titans and their very underrated team, and like, I don't even know what you can do, man. That dude threw it 70 times for like 450 yards. I don't even know. Like, they just basically were like, we're just gonna throw it the whole game. It's kind of like it's like the reverse of like running it that many times in a game. There's like this weird level where it goes from like strange to very impressive. I keep dropping frames. What the fuck? Oh well. I hate when that does that. Fucking OBS, dude. Oh. Why is that doing that? It's annoying. Anyway, sorry if there's any kind of small buffering. I don't think anything's going to happen because I'm not dropping below 0 or anything. But, sorry about anything. For some reason, it's acting up. Not really sure why. Anyway, Jaguars, Chiefs. There really probably isn't too much to discuss in this, right? Like, while the Jaguars do play a pretty impressive pass. What's up, babe? Pretty impressive pass rush, a pretty impressive defensive front. Their secondary isn't the greatest. I think Mecole Hardman, right? Is it MVS or Mecole Hardman? One of those two guys is out this week, or is going to be like substantially limited, or just kind of like not able to play at like a full clip. So you're going to see the first real usage of one Kadarius Toney. He's expected to get quite the elevated role in the offense, and I think that might be pretty dangerous. Hardman's the one? Okay, so it's going to be Hardman that might be missing time. So it's going to be, so Tooney's probably going to get quite the look. So, yeah. Again, I think this one you can kind of keep on an upset watch. But, like, if it does happen, it's like, well, that's crazy. But also, like, I wouldn't expect it. Yeah, the Chiefs guy. Played for the Patriots. You have a lock on the Chiefs? Okay. All right. Next game. We can move on here. This, that game doesn't require much attention, much brain cells, much thought to it. We've got the Browns at the Dolphins. Ooh, fun game. No Mecco, Jags cover T's well, and have a run game. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like a couple of things where it's like, watch out. The Jaguars will keep it close, but I think the Chiefs will ultimately win. Can't really go against Mahomes at home. That's a pretty tough spot. If this was in Jacksonville, I'd probably go with the crazy Jags upset, but it's in Kansas City. Yeah, so the game in Miami, we'll see how that the weather performs for the Browns. That could be a big factor, but the Browns are a run team anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. And the Dolphins' defense the last few weeks has been pretty atrocious, so keep that in mind as well. I think especially against the run. If you can run the football, I think you can mess the Dolphins up. And their secondary has been kind of plagued with injuries this year. So I would watch out for the Browns keeping it close. Yeah, they're even predicting quite a few points. They got an over under a 50 or over under a 49.5 with the Dolphins favored by 3.5. Dolphins are favored by 94% of the experts. With damn. So no one's really liking the Browns in this one, huh? Kind of got to feel bad for Jacoby Brissett. But then again, it's like, and the thing that has me questioning this game is like, can the Browns work up a secondary coverage or find a defensive scheming that will limit the play of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? Like, if I remember right, didn't they play Bailey Zappi? Which Patriots quarterback did they play? It was Bailey Zappi. And if I remember right, Bailey Zappi had such a good game against this Browns secondary that it was like one of them things where like people went, wow, he had a 300-yard game. If I'm not mistaken, right, he threw for like 300 yards in that one. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. The Browns just don't have a secondary. Something to keep in mind. And then now I'm looking over to who they have to play this week. One of the league leading in passers in Tua, his two monstrous receivers. One of them is well on his way to like historic numbers in Tyreek Hill. Yeah, that's a big reason why I'm going Miami in this one. Is I just kind of have I've seen the Browns secondary. It's been pretty bad. While I do have faith in Cleveland's offense, right? Like, no, I think their offense is pretty solid. They seem to be, they're succeeding despite the, overwhelming doubt people had for them coming into the season, I would say, with Jacoby Brissett leading them without Deshaun Watson, a few things about the line. The Browns had a little bit of a shadow, but they've performed pretty well on offense. Their defense has been the kind of Achilles heel for them this year, I would have to say. 3-5. No. Nope. Not till week 12. Not till their 12th game, right? Or is it week 13 he comes back? It's one of those two. Or is it after 11 games? It's like a weird specific thing. Pacers beat the Raptors. Well, that's cool. You learned your lessons on Dolphins, and the receivers can bail out to a consistent. Yeah, exactly. They have until you find a team with good like secondary, like they're gonna struggle hard with the Dolphins. Yeah, Watson will be back, I think, in like 2 games for them after tomorrow. Anyway, oh, we gotten through a few games already. That's pretty good. Do a quick stream check, see how the likes are doing. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so. Helps the stream out, gets a few more people in here. Guys, and hopefully maybe we got 10 or so. That'd be pretty sweet. All right, we got 10 on the dot. All right, pretty good. If you haven't left one, consider doing so. It'll help out the stream quite a bit. It'll get a few people in here. That means a vast majority of you haven't left a like yet. So if you haven't done so, consider doing so. It's pretty much the only way we can get extra folks into the streams. I appreciate it. Hey, we got all the way up to 13. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. That'll help out quite a bit. Browns play the Texans. Yeah, I think that was it's like a weird thing. All right, last chunk of games here. We got these down here. We got the Houston Texans playing the New York Giants. The 6-1 Texans taking on the 6-2 Giants, to be specific. Let's go look at some lines. Giants 14-10 is a hilarious low score. What else we got? Why is this? Where the fuck is it? Oh, right here. Giants are favored by 5.5 with an over-under of 41.5. The Giants are favored by 98% of the experts. Not a single top 24 picker has the Texans. Yeah, I'd be more curious to hear from somebody who doesn't have the Giants winning in this game, and what could be your explanation as to otherwise. I would be stunned if the Texans win this game. I can't foresee a situation in which Houston suddenly can win this game. It's 26-13. Yeah, that seems right. Again, I guess I wouldn't be too shocked, because I guess, any team can win on any Sunday, but it's also I don't think the Giants are the kind of team that's going to come in off a bye week at home and then lose to a team like this. I don't know about that. Yeah, it's going to be the Texans running it 3 times, 3 and out, and then the Giants running the shit out of it with Daniel Jones. And so I don't know. This game doesn't really have too much care to it to me. I don't know. Giants should be able to kind of just drop their nuts, and they basically get a practice week here. So long as they're not completely looking past their opponent, they should be able to handle their business rather effectively. Anyway, that's probably all we need to spend on that game, because who really gives a shit? The Saints take on the Steelers in the next one. 3-6 take on 2-6. The Steelers will be reactivating TJ Watt will be reactivated for the Steelers, and Minkah Fitzpatrick will be out, though, so they get one back and then they lose a guy. That's kind of a twist of fate there. What do we got? The Saints are now favored by 1.5 with an over-under of 39.5, so there's really no offense predicted here. This game's kind of half and half, with 56% of the experts on the Saints and 44% on the Steelers. The top 6, it's 4-1 Steelers. Holy shit. We see the Steelers. We see Saints. Yeah, and this one, I basically just kind of look at how the Saints have done against other teams that are kind of shitty like them, and they kind of can beat them. I don't know. Steelers just, I don't know. They feel like a super unimpressive football team right now. And if the Saints defense decides to play any kind of decency, if they can look like they did against the Raiders even a little bit, or what did they do in their last game? Didn't they hold a pretty good offense down around the amount of points they score? No, they got fucking pieced out on by Baltimore. That's right. Baltimore's a little bit better than the Steelers, so they're a lot better. I don't know about I don't know. I just I can't generate a fuck to give for this game. I'll be honest, I've looked no further into this game, because I usually do a little bit of digging before I go live on this to kind of find things out. But I looked at this game and I straight up just went, I don't care, dude. My brain straight up just said, don't even cover this one. Just kind of make up an excuse about how your dog ate your notes, and fucking then be then you killed your dog and then you had to bury your dog and you don't have any analysis because of that, because you got so angry and you were sad and you were shitting. and crying and shaking, and so I don't have anything. I was making up excuses to not have anything for this game. If anybody has any good insight into this one, you can let me know. I'll believe you. I have the Saints winning. I can't imagine sitting there and watching this football game. Again, I'd rather watch somebody kill their dog and then beat it and cry and fucking like. I'd rather watch the thing I described than watch that game. Like that would probably be a little bit better. I wouldn't publicly admit I watched this game if I was a football fan. I'd be like, yeah, I just didn't watch my team play this week. I just look up all the stats of another game. Like I was watching the Saints or the Bills and the Vikings. That was a good one. I got the Saints winning because I just think they have a better defense and I trust their offense a little bit more. Plus, no Minka Fitzpatrick. I think the Steelers secondary is pretty well washed. So go ahead and give me the Saints in a thriller. Ooh, 20-17. Mainly because of bad offense. All right, speaking of bad offense, the Denver Broncos take on the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill is back for the Titans in this one, so that could change a few ways you look at this game. At least it gives the Titans back some semblance of a passing attack other than whatever the fuck Malik Willis was doing the last couple weeks, throwing it like 13 times combined. What do we got now? Titans are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 39.5 with 83% of the experts going on the Titans, 17% on the Broncos. Let's see what people are thinking. You got the Broncos 7-2. I think that's silly. 34-21 Titans. I think that's a little bit too many points. I would put this at 21-14, 21-17 in favor of the Titans. Again, neither one of these teams are like explosive offenses. They're both kind of like two teams that operate on very underrated defense. The Titans more specifically, like you may get yards on them, but they're incredibly hard to score on. And for a team like the Broncos, who literally, if you go look up they put up decent amount of yards in every game that they've played in. They just don't score. And when you're going up against a team that'll give you the yards but not the points, that's like, that's like something's got to give there, right? It's either the Broncos break free and finally somehow start scoring against a team that doesn't give up touchdowns, but does give up yards, which is pretty much, what the Broncos are. It's like this weird thing where it's like the perfect stop for the Broncos offense is the fucking Titans. It's just like the worst kind of defense Tennessee or the Broncos can run into because it's like, they're going to like be lulled into a sense of security almost right away because they're going to be like, we can move the ball. We're moving. Then they get stopped. And that'll quickly, then they'll be like, oh shit, it's this again. And that could mess up any kind of like momentum they gain from the bye week. It'll like any kind of like positive, like there's a lot that could happen from this just based on the way Tennessee's kind of like structured and the way they kind of approach defense anyway. That short field's the biggest thing for Tennessee. Plus, the Broncos suck, and I'm not going to pick a team that is consistently just bad on offense. Yeah, if you watch Broncos games, they literally they'll move to like the 40 or 35 yard line, 30 yard line, like fucking quick. They'll fly down there too, and then they just stop. Hell, they'll get down into the red zone. They commit like 3 penalties and then fucking throw a terrible series of passes. And it's like, what the fuck just happened? They glide down. Like I'm telling you, they'll glide 30 to 15 yards, 15 yards, 15 yards, 15 yards. And then short field, they're done. That's the end of the Broncos offense. And if that's how you're playing, the Titans will eat that up all day long. They'll let you like work yourself into that every time. So. Until the Broncos can start showing some offense. Yeah, and their defense has been really good. But at some point, their defense is going to rebel against this shitty offense. Now, we'll talk about that when we get to the Rams, but At some point, defenses do stop trying because of the offense. They're like, we're not going to do this anymore. And I wonder if that's the case eventually for the Broncos here. Tennessee got hit hard on the injury report, missing key defensive players. Yeah, I wonder if the Titans are doing that on purpose. If that makes sense. Does that necessarily hurt them? Normally I'd be like, yeah, that's a bigger deal, and it's like something it's something you want to keep your eye on because it's like you don't want to miss key players. But if there's one team I don't really care what, like, not really care, what's the right word? I don't really fret about it. I don't really worry too hard about it. Is the Titans. Didn't they like play like they had like didn't they use like 98 different players last year? Like, all right, so they're just crackheads and they can basically use anybody. Their injuries are pretty irrelevant. No Simmons. Yeah, that could be pretty bad. But again, they're one of the few teams where I'm like, they're so well coached and so well constructed with depth, and you know what I mean? Like, it didn't hurt them last year with all the injuries. So I'm like, all right, until I see the injuries actually affect the Titans, we can't be too certain that injuries stop them. I mean, it hurt them last week without having Tannehill, which is shocking to say out loud. But yeah, the Patriots are going to be super healthy. Oh yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Titans here. Maybe the Broncos can get their shit going, but I don't think so. Again, I don't mind being wrong or like getting proven wrong, but I'm not gonna be like looking like an idiot picking the Broncos every week, going, "This is the week." I'd rather get it wrong one week and then they're good for the rest of the season than I get them right the rest of the way. Type deal. I'm fine missing the week that they get good, and this probably isn't it. Anyway. Oh shit. Here's the weirdest game that, like, when the season started, this would have been a game you circled and went, this one's gonna be pretty good. This Colts Raiders game. If you were looking at this in August, you would not have thought, wow, that's going to be a really shitty game in which Frank Reich won't be the head coach and Josh McDaniels will be on potentially his last legs as a coach. But I think that's a little overzealous. I don't think he's going to get fired. Personally, I don't think McDaniels gets fired. You may think like, well, they're struggling. Yeah, on defense. He's not a defensive-oriented head coach. It's not his fucking problem. I mean, it is, but it's like, you know, it's... When you're blowing 17-point leads, that's not really that's not an offensive problem. So just a little bit of a heads up. It's like, yeah, they're not doing it. It's like, yeah, if you're giving up a 17-point lead, you should win the game. That's on the defense. The fuck are his coordinators doing? So I just kind of being a little friendly to the Raiders, giving Josh a little bit of because I think they've blown four. Like again, that could be coaching decisions as well. So it could be more on McDaniels. But it's not his offense that's struggling in Vegas. Again, when you have 17-point leads, you should win the game. But, it's somewhat on your offense, too, because they get the ball here. Yeah, so again, the Raiders could be 3 to 4 wins better than what they are. Just a little thing to keep in your mind. Yeah, I hope it's Frank Reich. Anyway, Colts, again, this will be Jeff Saturday's debut as the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody knows how this is going to go because nobody knows anything about Jeff Saturday as a head coach, and he's going up against maybe a big pile of shit in Josh McDaniels, but arguably one of the smarter head coaches in the NFL, hilarious enough. Again, you may not like Josh McDaniels. I don't think Patriots fans like Josh McDaniels. The dude is incredibly intelligent, though. Again, giant bag of shit about it, but like he's a smart guy, just, a terrible person. It's not a terrible person. That's a little bit like overzealous. Guess he's just kind of a dick. Very smart, just, that's kind of the curse of smart people. Hey, we're up at 15 likes, by the way. Appreciate that, everybody. you haven't left one, consider doing so. Appreciate it. Helps the stream out and yada yada. Anyway, yeah, that's going to be a coaching advantage for the Raiders. Offensively, Raiders advantage. Defensively, Colts advantage. What's up, Wade? I don't know. How do Packers fans feel about Big Mike? Packers fans that are listening right now, how do you guys feel about Big Mike McCarthy? You guys hate him or do you like him? I can't really ever get a vibe. I think that if this would have happened like 2 years ago, booed. But I don't think they hate him anymore. And we're not at the Cowboys yet. Anyway, we'll get there. We'll get to that game. Anyway, Colts and Raiders. Looking at that game, the biggest problem for the Colts is did they get an offensive line? I mean, I know they replaced their head coach and everything, and that's always a good feeling. Did they get a new left tackle, a new right tackle, a new center, a new right guard? Did any of those things change? If the answer is no, then a team that just gave up 9 sacks to their very mobile quarterback, I think I gave up like 13 pressures in that game, 14 even, maybe 15, which is fucking wild to think about. That might be a single game pressure, the amount of team pressures on this dude. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. The Raiders have a pass rush that should be better than the Patriots, and the Patriots put up 9 sacks against these guys. I don't know what the fuck they're about to do. 15 pressures? Yeah, that's insane. Do you know that Trayvon Walker has 16 pressures in his entire season so far? The rookie number 1 overall pick. It's kind of like a weird reference point. Kind of like just to get an idea of what 15 pressures looks like in a single game by a team. That's a lot. So I'm going to probably have to stick with the Raiders on this one. You can't really go with a team that's been struggling as hard as the Colts have been, especially on offense with the first-time coach. Like normally, you wouldn't like if they'd maybe gone with a little bit different of a coach. You could probably like try to claim that the the rule of law here about how interim coaches seem to always win in their first game there. It's like this weird kind of very hyper consistent like thing that happens in football where the interim coach comes in and wins almost like all the time. It's like a high level of winning. I think if you go and look, you'd be shocked. It's like a 70-80 win, like 80% win percentage where it's like, huh? Because most of the time it's like teams that have like 1 win or higher in interim coaches, and you'll see them finish with 2 or 3 wins on the season. Both of those extra wins came right away. And then they sucked the rest of the way through, just like the other coach. But for some reason, there's like this weird energy about the first game for an interim head coach that's just making me go, man, the Raiders are a type of team that would lose this fucking game, aren't they? And the Raiders are the kind of unlucky, kind of weird team that just like loses games like this. Maybe not. Maybe McDaniels finally shows that he's not a fucking worthless head coach. Be nice. I'm sure Raiders fans would like to have a surefire win like the Patriots did. Because, I don't think there was a single Patriots fans that ever doubted that game. There wasn't a single person that thought the Colts were going to win that game. If I remember right, there was like 100% on the Patriots winning that one by the experts that week. So I think everybody just went, oh boy, that's a nightmare coming for that poor fucking Sam Ehlinger kid. No offensive line, Matthew Judon. Oof. And then it was worse than anybody could have predicted for the Colts. It got so bad they fired Frank Reich. That was one hell of a performance by the Patriots. You ever see a team get beat so singularly badly, the owner goes from a week prior saying that there's nothing that could be done to get Frank fired this year to we fired Frank Reich. Literally a week prior, Jim Irsay said his job was one of the safest in sports. And then apparently midway through that game, Jim Irsay had decided that he was going to hire Jeff Saturday as the new coach pretty quickly here. It's Like, damn, he got beat so bad by his nemesis team that he was like, all right, we got to fucking get rid of this guy. He's fucking done. That's why it was important, by the way. That's why that was a funny win, because literally Irsay was saying literally all week that they weren't going to fire him. Had he beat the Patriots, he might not have. Had he not gotten fucking 80 or 120 yards. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we can move on there. That game's probably pretty boring to discuss. Let's get to the game. A bunch of people were pretty eager to discuss. Cowboys take on the Packers here. It'll be Big Mike's return to Lambeau. The weather's supposed to be a little bit on Green Bay's side. It's supposed to be cold. It might be snowing. Zeke Elliott's status is up in the air. Nobody knows if he's going to be able to play. The Cowboys are favored by 4.5 with an over-under of 44.5. Cowboys are 92% picked by the experts, with only 8% people picking Green Bay. As we've seen with Ven, he's thinking he's feeling bold. He's like a Green Bay upset, please. A little curious as to why you're thinking the Packers here. I don't know if that's is that like a safe bet? Is that just something you're just kind of feeling deep in the old gut? Just like, I feel like we're going to have to rebound hard here. But like, to me, this is the game for the Packers, right? Because if they lose here, we usually own Cowboys in Jerry's world. Yeah, usually. But now it's Green Bay. It's a little interesting. But this is probably the save the season game for the Packers, in my opinion. You can't lose too many more without being like, uh-oh. Because to me, seven losses is the official panic button. That's where you kind of got to look around and go, oh boy, our postseason odds here are starting to shrink quite dramatically as things are beginning to progress. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. McCarthy, the Packers kind of know his schemes, his philosophies that he used to have, the ways he used to think anyway. I mean, there's a little bit to be seen. He still kind of has some of those tendencies, but not all of them. But there is also the flip side of it that Mike McCarthy knows a lot about Aaron Rodgers. So there is that double-sided sword there, right? If there's any coach in the NFL that probably knows Aaron Rodgers better than anybody, it's probably Big Mike, isn't it? I mean, like, that's an interesting matchup, right? It's two guys who fundamentally understand each other's like way of like thinking about football, going head to head now. Just as it was super exciting to watch Brady go off against Belichick, it's going to be really exciting to watch fucking Brady or Rodgers play his coach. Didn't they win a Super Bowl together? Like that's a good matchup. It's not as exciting as the Brady Belichick, but that's a good like who comes out in that chess match, because it's two guys that know almost the way the other guy thinks. Because again, as bad as things ended, they at one point they were very close. I think they're close again now that they're not on the same team. I think they were just fucking not getting along at the end there, so they had to kind of split apart. They don't really badmouth each other. So it's always fun to see how those things kind of go. But there's gonna be a little bit of like, we gotta win this game versus fucking guy going on. So I like that. That's that adds some good tension into this, for sure, Fernando. Again, I'm going to be going Packers here, mainly because I think that the Packers' offensive problems going up against this defense is one of the worst things you could probably have to deal with. Especially with like offensive line concerns, receiver concerns, because Dallas' secondary is pretty solid. Their defensive front's really good, so it's like probably the worst team you could run into with offensive problems. Again, it's not to just take away from the Packers or anything. It's just like, that's a tough defense, especially for a team that's been again struggling with the upfront stuff, like with the Packers. Ugh. Throat's starting to get a little dry. I might have to get some more drinks soon. Where are we at? Oh, we only got a few left. We can do some fun NFL talk if you guys want after. If you guys want to actually chit chat back and forth. Man, this feels like, though, I'm not going to lie, this feels like a week I'm going to get a bunch of games wrong. And you want to know why? Because it feels like week 10s every year is like the crazy upset week, and I always miss it because I'm just like, yeah, not every week 10 or week 11 is going to be the crazy. Oh, it was. It was a crazy upset week. I was fucking wrong yet again. It's usually right around this time of year when like all the favorites lose somehow. It's a hilarious week. Everyone's just kind of, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? That could have been the beginning of the season, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I don't know how this next game's gonna go. That's why I don't really know how to start this next game. It's the Cardinals taking on the Rams. 3-6 versus 3-5. It's basically underachiever versus underachiever. It's Giants defense good this week for fantasy? Yeah, I put the Giants defense on a number of my fantasy football teams. Yeah. I typically go week to week on defenses, and if I see a team playing the Texans and they're available to grab, and they're also not a bad team, I go get that defense. I'm seeing Rams, I'm seeing Cards. Yeah, I'm probably leaning Rams. I just don't know where to go in this game because it's like, I don't know if Kyler Murray's going to be able to play. I think he's a game time decision, apparently. He's got a hamstring thing going on. So it's kind of like there's a lot of flux and question mark going on with the Cardinals offense heading into this game. So an offense that's already struggling this year is now going to be potentially, if Kyler plays, he's going to be on a limited hamstring. And if he doesn't play, I really don't know what the Cardinals offense is going to look like. Bad offensive line this year going up against what's been a very dominant Rams defense, a Rams offense that's going to want to redeem itself. That's against this Cards defense that's not been the greatest all season. Kind of feels like the Cardinals are in a really good disadvantage in this game. Let's go look at some of the lines here to get an idea. The Rams are favored by just 2.5 with an over-under 39.5, so no one's predicting a lot of points. 65% of the people are on the Rams, 35% on the Cardinals. I don't know. Seems like everyone's kind of picking Rams. There's a couple people on the Cardinals. I picked the Saints, Jacob. Sorry about that. No offense to your team. I just, you know. Saints are just a little better than you guys this year. Plus, like, no Minka Fitzpatrick. I don't know, you know. You may get Watt back, but is that enough to make up for no Minka? I don't think so. But anyway, with the Rams and Cardinals, you know, I'm thinking the Rams defense overwhelms this Cardinals offense that's been super struggly, and the Rams offense can take advantage of what's been a pretty bad Cardinals defense all year. Yeah, Rams, yeah. All right, this is a game that I'm very confused about because when I see the Chargers and the 49ers, I've seen nobody picking the Chargers. Like, I haven't seen a singular person. Yeah, there's a lot of other problems on. Like, I don't think the Cardinals have a good locker room. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be traded in the offseason to the Patriots. But, you know, we'll get to that bridge when we get to that bridge. Get Mac a real wide receiver for once. And be honest. You can really actually see it, can't you? Of all the places he could get traded to. Just close your eyes. Just really go like this for a second. Be like, where do you see him getting traded to? Can you imagine him in Patriots gear? Oh, that sucks. You really can't you? It's one of the things where you're like, oh no, I can imagine that better than him on my own team. And it's just the shittiest truth of the thing. He would look great in Patriots gear. Fix our whole problem. We'd trade everything to get him. probably multiple first. Well, he wouldn't. Oh wait, his number is number 10. That'd be interesting. Anyway, we'll move on from that. We'll cross those bridges when we get to them bridges. So, Odell might go to the Niners. Yeah, he might go to like 6-7 other teams. So until he signs somewhere, I don't really give a fuck. Not trying to be rude or anything, Jacob, at all. But like, he might also go to the Chiefs. He might also go to the Bills. He might also go to the Cowboys. He might also go to this team. He might also go to that team. You know what I mean? Like, again, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it seems like a lot of teams are, like, I think it's like 4 teams that are pretty linked to Odell. Unless something recent, like in the last hours, broke out about it. So what's confusing here is that 91% of the experts are on the Niners here, and only 9% are picking what's going on? What am I missing from this Chargers from this game? So even this line, like the Niners are 7.5 point favorites with an over under of 45.5. What am I missing? Why are the Chargers so undervalued in this game? Is a substantial no. Is like everybody hurt? Is Justin Herbert just sitting this game out in protest? Like what? Like what happened? Why are the 49ers favored to beat the dog shit out of it? Like they're like getting. This isn't just like oh, the 49ers are gonna win a close game. No, this is like every sports book is like, oh boy. And I'm like, the banged up 49ers are that big of a threat to this Chargers team? Is it really that bad? Is it the situation that bad with the receivers or something? Is it dire? Is it like that dire? To the point where they're like, we don't know what they're going to do against these Niners. This criminally underwhelming 49ers team is about to beat the shit out of the Chargers. Maybe. It's just one of them things where it's like I'm just baffled and kind of flabbergasted that that a team that was supposed to win the Super Bowl, according to so many in August, is predicted to lose by 8 points to the lowly 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo. What a weird twist. Football's a weird game, isn't it? Nothing ever turns out the way you think it's going to turn out. Like, I didn't even think we'd be seeing Jimmy G still leading the 49ers at this point. But there's also a part of me that's wondering, it's like, like I said, is there any reason to get rid of Jimmy G at this point if you're the 49ers? And remember what I've been saying. Why would they? Why not just try to do everything in your power to keep this guy around? Because of what if? And everyone's like, nah, you got to get rid of him. You can't keep both. And then they did keep both. And now it's turned out to have been a great decision because, man, what would the Niners be doing without Jimmy G right now? Whew. Is it really like that kind of like a matchup for the Chargers? Like they're a Squirtle and they're up against they're a Charmander up against a Blastoise. Is it it's just like, whew. Man, this could get ugly. The Chargers don't figure out how to stop the run. Christian McCaffrey could go for 700-800 yards in this game. See, and that's the scariest thing is you just got to remember, it's like, yeah, but the 49ers only got, they got Christian McCaffrey. Never mind, they can run as freely as they please. And that's been pretty much a raving success for so far that we've seen. How dangerous is that going to? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much more dangerous do you think that Christian McCaffrey in that offense is going to get? Because it's all right. It's already a Shanahan offense, which is like if you put a decent running back in that system, they turn into a good running back. If you put a good running back, say like a Terrell Davis, who's probably great, just coming into the league, good to great, you get one of the greatest running backs in NFL history in a Shanahan offense. What in the fuck is Christian McCaffrey is arguably the best running back to be put in one of those Shanahan systems since Terrell Davis. So it's so it's like, oh boy, I wonder this is the next couple of years might be very interesting out of the 49ers offense, especially with McCaffrey getting more and more integrated into that Shanahan style offense. Because again, it's kind of an offense that like makes running backs better. It's centered around like very complicated run first schemes that evolved and keep evolving with the game as it goes on. With Mike Shanahan doing a lot of, I think, behind the scenes kind of building of the offense still a little bit. Because again, you can see like, you know, what the big changes are, like the motion things that the 49ers do. You know, this is small things. By the way, that offense that I'm talking about is like, there's like the McVay version of the offense is a little bit more pass oriented. The McDaniels offense version of it is a little bit more run play action oriented down in Miami. Who's another one of the coordinators that fucking Shanahan birthed? Kyle. I can tell you what slight variation they run of the Shanahan offense, and I'll tell you what the slight again. You could just look at it and be like, oh, he throws it more than the other ones. I think Shanahan's more of a run version of it too. Sirianni, I think, is more of a passer. No, wait, where the fuck did Sirianni come? He's not Shanahan, is he? Or is he Reich? God damn, there's so many people that come from one fuck. Sirianni's from the Colts, right? He was the Colts coordinator. So yeah, he wasn't in that tree. Never mind. I think he's part of the Reich group. Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah on that. I'm gonna say I'm right on that. Everybody stopped talking, so I don't know what happened. Everybody feeling awkward. No, you hang up. Got that kind of weird energy to it. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. All right. So that's the Niners and Chargers. Good analysis there. All right, final game of the weekend. Probably the best game of the weekend, if you were to ask me. The Commanders take on the Eagles in a game that, you know, many people are talking about. It's like 10, 11 people are. Get it? Because that's how many people are here. We're implying that we're the only people on earth talking about this fucking game. Anyway, all right, let's look at some of the outside numbers, right? Because that's always important. We got the Eagles favored by 10.5 with an over-under of 43.5. Close that. And then, of course, we have 98% of people picking the Eagles with not a single person in the top 24 venturing outside of that pick. Niners might be fucked if Lance keeps getting yeah, that's the thing. Like the Niners gave up their whole future to get Lance, and then they tried to trade away a first round pick to add to their team, and the team went, we're not really interested in trading for like 2 years down the road. Kind of like how the Rams lost out on a trade this year. Do you think their GM still walks around with like a shirt that says fuck those picks? Quirky, right? He's quirky, dude. Yeah, fuck them picks till you need to go get like an immediate impact player, right? Oh, could have really used one of them first round picks. Maybe we shouldn't have gave them all away for Odell Beckham. Fucking Matthew Stafford. You know what's cool for the Lions is if the Rams do lose that game. Oh, wait, the Eagles and Commanders. We never talked about that. We're not done yet. Shit, I thought I gave my thoughts on that game, but I realized I hadn't said a word about that. I just went over like the outside stuff and went, yeah, this is going to be a game. And then I looked down and seen Ven was like, they are the Niners. And I was like, all right, yeah, we're done now. We'll just talk about, we'll just kind of have a free talk now. Whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, I got the Eagles winning. I don't know. Commanders could keep it weirdly close. Because again, I think the Commanders' defense has woken up in the recent weeks. They've been playing a lot better than lately. But again, I don't really trust their offense against the Eagles defense that's been really good. And, you know, could this be an upset game? Could this be a trap game? I don't think so, because I don't think the Eagles are looking past anybody. I haven't noticed any of that tendency with this team anyway. The like look past and kind of like be like, oh, it's what? Who are we playing? These guys? I think that happened in week 1 with the Eagles when they played Detroit. And I think Detroit almost coming back and beating them made them go, looks like we can't be doing that anymore. That was a stupid idea. And now they play like this super surefire, like 60-minute football. So I would have to say that almost losing to Detroit probably was really good for them at the start of the season. I don't know. So yeah, I'll go with the Eagles. I don't really think the Commanders will win this game. Anyway, let's do a kind of free talk. So yeah, that's about that. This stream really, I don't know what's been up the last couple nights. Channel's been kind of just not being able to get any views on the streams. Usually this is one of my biggest, more bumping streams of the week. Don't know what's going on. It's one of them moments where YouTube has my channel all clamped up. Feels bad. Oh well. Consistency was pretty good tonight, though, I will say. We've been at like the same number of like 8 to 12 viewers, 8 to 15 even, but it's just weird, just not like normal appeal like normal. I don't know. By the way, if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It helps the stream out. Gets a few more people maybe in here. I'm not really sure what's going on this weekend. Oh well, streaming's a fickle game. Some nights is good, some nights is bad, sometimes is good. Again, the numbers are kind of irrelevant. As long as the chat's good, it makes it a lot better. But it seems like the stream's dying out. No one's really saying too much anymore. Is that a sign that we ended, or do you guys want to actually like do a little chatting, or what do you guys want to do? Kind of a up to you situation here. I'll go for a little while longer if you guys want to. But it can't just be me going like, whoa, and looking down for the silence for 30 seconds and going, I guess no one's going to respond to that, and then moving on to the next topic, because that's like boring. What do we want to do? Do we want to talk football? Do you guys just want to end the stream? What do you guys? There's like 90 here. No one's saying anything. What do we want to do? Are we all too a little busy this evening to be able to chat? I understand. No real pressure, I would say. I wouldn't say there's any kind of pressure to keep things going. There's plenty of other random little story things we could talk about, little things about these games that we could dive a little bit deeper into. No? Like I said, just people just not really people just not really interested, or what, like what's going on? I guess. Well, there's been like 6 things said in like 10 minutes by you guys, so I'm not really sure what's going on. Do you guys want me to like keep streaming or not? Like, I'm not really sure. I can't get a vibe for how people are feeling on this. I have no idea. And it's just really weird that you guys keep being quiet despite me like saying stuff like this. It's like, hello? Is my mic muted and no one wants to say anything for the past hour and 40 minutes? Is it like a super quiet mic that you can barely hear? Is there something wrong with the audio? Hello? I'm glad you enjoy it. Just nobody says anything. I don't know what's going on. Usually the absolute silence to me means I'm doing a terrible job. I didn't even get 100 views on this. This stream did. I mean, in all honesty, this stream performed terribly. I don't even know if 100 chats were sent in the stream. Let me check. Did we ever get the 100? Okay, we did hit 100. So that's I guess okay. Yeesh, only 85 views. This thing just did not do anything today. None of my streams or nothing's doing good lately though. Very strange, very strange. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. Appreciate you guys all coming out. It's been a fun stream. Been chatting and everything. Don't know what's up with the old channel lately. It's just not producing live views like usual. Last 3 streams really have been kind of bad. Looks like the last 4 streams have been bad. Probably because they keep keeping them ad suitabilities. I don't know. I don't know. It does feel like something weird though with the live views being way down lately. I still want to talk about football, but it doesn't seem like anyone wants to talk football. It's just dead silence. I guess that's the sign to just end it then, huh? Guess you guys are all typed out. Nobody wants to talk about football. That's why I'm live. I'm here to talk about football. Does anyone want to talk about football? There's a whole bunch of games on tomorrow. 12 of them. Most of you guys just gave scores. Does no one want to chat football tonight? Is you guys already tired of the NFL streams? It's like, damn. Seasons are just kind of getting going. This is like a game where you guys just decide not to reply. Hello? This is really weird. There's 7 very dedicated people to just not saying a fucking word in here. It's a very dedicated level of just sitting there. I appreciate the dedication to just letting me wonder about how the stream is going. Outside of the 2 guys here. Hey Kenny, you decided to finally type something. How's it going, dude? Oh, is everyone just busy? Like, I just don't understand. Why? Like, what's going on? Not very engaged. I gotta change around here. I don't know. It just seems like the last few streams, nobody's been wanting to chat. What the fuck do I gotta change around here? Is there any advice? I feel like I'm super open about conversation, so I don't really know what the hell has happened. Oh, you're playing. Gotcha. Oh, is there a big UFC on tonight? I completely forgot about that shit. I remember like 6 different people telling me about the UFC this weekend. Is it a big one? That fucking, you know what? There's very few nights where I notice where my channel can do noticeably worse. UFC fight nights are fucking, my channel just does not perform like at like any capacity. It's just, you can probably almost chart it. I just die. My channel dies on nights like this. All right, that explains quite a bit where I have no traffic on my thing. Like even the regulars like Nathan aren't here. Or if they were here for like a microsecond. It's like, all right, I'm out. It's like, oh, okay. Is it about to be the main bout? Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna get out of here and let everyone get to the fights. Packers need to win. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say if you guys don't win, your season's effectively over. Main card's almost on. Yeah, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. I've never really had like these streams usually don't do this bad, so I guess not even bad. Is Elon Musk live right now? Oh, never mind. Oh, he is. What the fuck? Musk is live over on Tesla's page with Jack from Twitter. What a wild live stream. They're talking about Bitcoin crashing because of that FTX place. Being a Ponzi scheme, probably. I hate cryptocurrency so much. But I also think, like, there's a part of me that finds the entire thing rabidly hilarious to watch people lose like that, because it's like, why in the world would you put all your money in that? That seems like a bad investment. People are like, I lost my whole life savings. It's like, I'd feel less bad if you lost like 30 grand and that's all, like, and you still had like 20, 30 grand lying around. Like, I'd feel way worse for you if like you lost like 5 grand even. I feel nothing for some idiot that yeeted over 100K into crypto. Like, nah, you're a stupid motherfucker. You didn't deserve to have that money in the first place. It's just like, what? Yeah, you were stupid. You shouldn't have did that. Go re-earn your money now. You dumb motherfucker. Why did you do that in the first place? If you have that much money, it's like you either, one, probably don't deserve to have it. Oh, on Twitter? Oh, he's doing really good, dude. Things are going swimmingly. A company that had some super long-term concerns on bankruptcy, and like long-term concerns, like nothing, probably decades down the road, it would be like a decade down the road, it might be a problem. To immediate crisis of bankruptcy on the horizon within a year. It's like, how did that happen so quickly? That's goddamn impressive how quickly he fucking tanked that into like a, again, long-term bankruptcy concerns into, well, it could be done next year, actually. It's a little, yeah, it's like the verification thing didn't work out. That could actually wind up fucking backfiring dramatically depending on how anal of some prosecutor wants to be, how shitty some company wants to be about their, like, people getting sued. Because again, he's had a tweet come out where it's basically like, you could extrapolate, right? If you were like a shitty little prosecutor and you didn't like him. Somebody pointed out that someone pointed out that, like, basically he could charge someone the $8 for Twitter Blue. The troll account gets banned and they get to keep the $8. And he put out, like, that's the plan, with a money bag symbol, a rocket ship symbol, and like some sunglasses emojis. And when he types that out, that could be implied or taken as he understands that people are going to commit identity fraud, and his plan is to profit on that identity fraud. Do you see why he maybe shouldn't have said, and I quote, "That's the plan, is to take the $8 from the people who are committing identity fraud"? Now, companies have lost billions of billions and billions of dollars on these people doing this now, like Lockheed Martin, Eli Lilly, Nintendo's have had some trouble with this. And Elon said the plan was to let people make troll accounts to take their $8. Do you see where a company like Lockheed Martin or Eli Lilly could then look at that tweet and be like, so your plan was to let people make fake accounts, get themselves banned so you could keep their $8? If I'm a corporate lawyer for one of these companies, I'm suing the fuck out of Elon Musk right now. Because I'm like, so what, you like set this up so people could fuck around as us? You know, your little fucking game here cost us billions of dollars, dude. Like, that's like, there's like actual like real, because like that tweet right there, that's the plan with the money symbols and all that, kind of implicates him in like a weird way that like part of his plan was kind of to make it so people could imitate name brand companies and then ban them and get their $8. Now, you could say his plan is to just, if people do that, was to just keep the $8 and not let them get the refund. You could take the more probably honest route with that. But do you see how you could build up quite the fucking narrative from the other side? He tweets way too much. Like, he tweets some dumb motherfucking things that get deleted, but people screenshot it. It's like, dude, you shouldn't say 90% of what you say on here, because like you're opening your weird. He's not a very smart like social mover. He's a smart guy in terms of a lot of other things, right? But like, he's not very good with social stuff. This is the kind of shit that gets you sued really bad, like playing games like this. Probably should have never did that whole verification thing. That was probably one of the craziest missteps I think I've ever seen somebody do. Why change anything? Again, I know he wanted to monetize it a little bit and he wanted to make Twitter Blue a little bit better, but why not just make Twitter Blue like way better of a service? Don't add in the weird verification thing. Just make it a better service. Add in a bunch of cool fucking features. Make it worth getting the $8 so that but just don't add in the fucking verified feature. That might go down as one of the weirdest, worst decisions I've ever seen a social company, like media company, make. Because it just like the ramifications of such a move are mind-bending. Billions of dollars were lost by major industry by some trolls and Elon Musk making a bad decision. That's a hilarious point of internet history. Plus, like, he might go bankrupt on a $44 billion purchase, which is crazy to think about. Again, Musk's biggest problem is he's like a very smart guy, but I don't think he understands people like to any like real level. Yeah, they're just bad features for that. Yeah, it's just like you could make Twitter Blue good without having to add the weird verification thing. But like, there's a reason why it's like guys like Mark Zuckerberg and like Jack who can make big Twitter. Like, it's like 4 people who can make really good fucking social media companies. Because you gotta like have like this like weird, creepy level of people understanding that like freaked me out first. I thought someone was at my fucking window. Dude. If there is, I'm like staring at somebody and they're looking at me and I see you. Yeah, he doesn't understand people. He just fundamentally doesn't get people like Zuckerberg and like Jack do. He wants to make it. No, he just, that's not even like, I don't even know what he wants. I think he just doesn't want like, it's freedom of speech isn't really even a problem on the place like that. It's like, yeah, it's a little annoying people get banned for being shitlords, but it's like, freedom of speech. Do you know that the guy who made Twitter is an actual freedom of speech absolutist too? Jack, the guy who made Twitter. Do you know why he had to stop doing that? I'll fill you in on a secret. Has nothing to do with his morals and freedom of speech. Again, nothing to do with their morals. Do you know who has the biggest clamp up on freedom of speech ever? The big fuckers who run corporations. Dude, them people just like clamp up. Like they clamp down on people and free speech for ad money. It's all in the court, like the pursuit of ad. As soon as something gets too big and it needs like money to be survived, you can pretty much start kissing certain things goodbye that like upset a large number of people. Like it's just like it's like an inevitability of anything. Like if Twitter had its way and it could have made money, it would have never had banned anybody. For example, Jack had to completely fight to try to keep Alex Jones on the platform for all them years. But then as soon as the advertiser said they were going to pull everything, he's like, fuck, I gotta move. I gotta make a move. Do you see like why, like again, and I've been trying to explain this, that the only reason the fucking Commanders ever became the Commanders and they're still not called the Redskins, they're like, the NFL caved. Yeah, to rich Republicans and advertising people. To the rich Republicans running fucking FedEx. That's who they cave to. Like, guys, like, you have to understand who the fuck is like, it's like big money is the reason why all this shit changes. It has nothing to do with like special interest groups. It's very smart, like business people going, all the money is, we need to make sure that the money keeps flowing. So we see the way that people are feeling and the way general trends are moving. It's in our best interest to do this. And they generally get it right. I mean, like, it's like, Commanders is a bad name, but if they were the Red Wolves, no one would give a fuck about the name change. You know what I mean? That's the difference. Commanders is a bad name. Nobody cared when they were the football team. People like that name. Do you see like what you see like it's a bad name, but that's the reason people are upset it got changed now, because the new name they picked is kind of gay. Like that's the reason nobody like they're like, all right, we're just gonna go with the fucking Redskins. Fuck it. Even people like me are like, you might as well just stay the Redskins. That's kind of a shitty name, but just like it's better than fucking Commanders. Why didn't you just go Red Wolves? Like Red Wolves, not a single fan would have been. They'd have been like, "Dad, this is pretty sweet. We're the only wolf team. We're the only dog team." Browns don't count, they're elves. Yeah, they got changed because they're fucking corporate sponsors. That's why. You want to know why the Chiefs will never change their name? Do you want to know who sponsors their stadium? I believe the Hunt family sponsors their stadium. You know, the team that owns the Chiefs. I think they own their stadium too. Like, I think they pay, like, they sponsor it themselves. If I'm right? Their stadium's like Hunt's Ketchup. It's named after that, and like the Hunt's family sponsors their stadium. So it's one of them things where they're like, yeah, we're not going to change our team name, so suck our fucking dicks. It's like, yeah, want to know why the Chiefs will never change their name? That's why. They want them to, but guess what? The Chiefs are like, who's going to make us? And people are like, we'll call your stadium sponsor. And then they get on the phone. Hey, it's us again. Gotcha. And they're like, we'd like to talk to the president of whoever. Yes, you're speaking to the people who run Hunt's Ketchup. Yes, we have a very similar last name to the people who own the Chiefs. Yes, it's very strange. You sound a lot like, yeah, it's me, bitch. Gotcha. Click. We ain't changing shit. Click. We're going to keep sending our ketchup money over there. Yeah, And that's pretty much the end of that. Daniel Snyder can't go. I'm going to take I don't even know how he makes his money. I don't even know where the fuck he gets his money from. His question mark. Because like, I can make jokes about how every owner makes their money. Like Robert Kraft sells paper. That's what Kraft Industries does. They move paper around. So Robert Kraft has unlimited paper money. Oh, you thought he would? No, he's not related to the cheat Mickey, the Kraft or the mac and cheese money. That's not his. Yeah, I think a whole bunch of people are gonna get in trouble with the Commanders. Do you see what they got charged with, or they're gonna charge him with? If they go public with something like that, that means they got something. Like, I'm pretty sure like the Commanders have been busted like on like 6 or 7 different fronts of like if you read what they're being charged with, it's basically all that shit related to like 2-3 years ago when they first were started getting investigated for like human trafficking and like workplace misconduct. No, people are probably going to get in trouble for this, and I think that's why the Commanders are being sold. I think Dan Snyder knows the writing's out. He's fucking done. The NFL just got dragged into the lawsuit too. He's done. That's like the one thing I think you have to keep your eye on this is the fact that like if it would just be the Washington going down, but I think it's the NFL and like 30 other teams are implicated. Like I think like everybody's going down on this. I think if I remember right, was it? I know it's the NFL itself. I know it's the Washington that's being investigated, and there's some. Is it all 31 other teams too? For kind of like ignoring this with Washington and just kind of like letting this workplace like fester and develop and kind of like have this like disgusting underbelly. I know the NFL is also being looked into on these, but I just can't recall if Washington. It's Dan Snyder in the NFL. Okay, hold on. So it's just the NFL and Dan Snyder. Okay. All right. Anyway, all right, guys. It's midnight now, so it's been 2 hours. What's up, Charles? The Lakers are bad this year. Yeah, they're having a bad year. Maybe they'll get it going. But Charles, you tuned in at the wrong time, my friend. I'm just about to wrap this up. I just realized it's midnight and it's 2 o'clock, and I got some stuff I got to get done still. So, thanks to everyone who stopped in tonight, and the stream was all right. It kind of 16, 17 likes. So if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It will help the stream out anyone who hasn't left one. 96 views, so it'll get up to 100 overnight. So that's not bad. Not bad, not bad. Should be all right. 16 likes is what we're gonna end on, huh? It's all right. Could be a little better, but that's all right. I don't know if Snyder's got anything really good on the NFL. I feel like he should release it by now, but we'll see. Fuck. Excuse me. Have a good night, Kenny. Yeah, that's about it. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Bears and the Lions. That should be pretty solid. And then we'll do Sunday Night Football. Yeah. All right. Yep. You guys have a good night, Ven. You're gonna game tonight. Nice. Yeah, you got the night off. You finally probably got some your homework's done. I gotta go do a little homework and a little bit of reading and commenting on some stories and yada. But all right, everybody. Hopefully I'll see you around for the streams tomorrow. If not, I'll see you when I see you next. Thank you again to everyone who tuned in. I appreciate it, and thank you for chatting. Again, the low viewers, I don't really care about. It's just mainly when the chat's good, it's a lot more fun. You got my info. Uh-oh. Well. It's a good thing you're easy to stop. Got him. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good night. Go Lions, go Tigers, and go Patriots. I'll see you when I see you next. Peace out.